Hi guys, Jean here. For those of you who don't know me, I am Jean Roberts and I am from Alberta, Canada. Born in the Caribbean. And welcome to my channel. This is actually my third video I'm doing for the day because I lost two of my videos, so I decided to come out and take a walk and talk to you guys as I walk. I am in Niagara Falls visiting my friend who is not well. And I've been finding it very challenging to do my videos. But I know how important it is for me to do it because, as you guys know, if you have been on my channel before, that I am doing a 100 days of video, and this is my 83 video. And I just lost two, and I had to come out and do another one. So today, my topic is on these three little words I don't know. And to be honest with you, yeah, I don't know. But those three words about I don't know, they are my pet peeve. Really and truly. When people tell me that they don't know something that I think that they should know, is really frustrating for me. And so this morning I was listening to Ramit, and Ramit Sethi is actually this money guy. He wrote a book. He wrote a couple books. One is they're all on money, and he usually do interviews on his podcast with couples because right now he does what you call money for couples, and he did a kind of docu-series on Netflix called I Will Teach You to Be Rich. And this morning, the couple that was on, the husband, every single thing Ramit asked him, he was saying, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how our finances like that. I don't know how much money I make. I don't know, how my wife do the finance. I don't know how to have a conversation. I don't know how to save money. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. And that brought up some memories for me. So when I was married before, my ex-husband, I was married for 17 years. And this man remind me a lot of my ex because that was one of the things that, um, my husband, my ex used to do a lot. Every single time I ask him, what do you want to do? I don't know. Where do you want to go? I don't know. What do you want to have for dinner? I don't know. And that used to drive me crazy, right? And so when I met my ex, and at that time in my life, I was living a lot in my masculinity. I live a lot in this strong woman kind of I can do anything kind of a woman. So in that relationship, I was the one that had the conversation. I was the one that chose where we went to eat. I was the one that had to make the dinner, figure out what we having for dinner. And that was very, very hard for me because I wanted to be in the type of relationship where, my emotional needs were being met. And to be honest with you, in that relationship, my emotional needs were not being met. And I remember when I came to Canada, I came in the early, no, in the mid 80s, right? I came around the mid 80s. And when I arrived, there was three things that I wanted to do. I wanted to go to school. I wanted to have an education because when I arrived here, I didn't have my grade 12 education. So I wanted to go back to school and get an education. I also wanted to write my book, and I talk about that book a couple times. I have written it, a memoir, and I actually wanted to be a health and wellness coach, which I am a health and wellness coach. I just don't practice that with people as I thought I would be able to do. So being in this being this strong woman and always doing the things that I wanted to do. I wanted to kick ass. And, I remember growing up in the Caribbean, I actually raised myself. And when I say I raised myself, I know people ask, well, what does that mean? Well, my mom had five of us children. And with all of us, she had to go out and work. So my mom was never really around, or at least my memory of my mom was that she was never around. And no offense to my mom, I understand as an adult now that my mother had to go out and work. I need to show you guys this Ferris wheel out here. Give me a moment. Yeah, you see the Ferris wheel down there? This is Niagara. It's right down by Niagara Falls. So if you just go down the street as I'm walking down, you would get right to the falls there. And I just love, you cannot see it as how bright I'm seeing it. Anyways, so for me, I truly believe that I raised myself because I could not ever remember my mother being around. So I had this kind of a way about me that I am the one who raised myself and kicked my ass into this life. So being a bride, getting married, I come into this relationship in my masculinity, right? So basically I end up doing all the things that you may think that the man have to do, but I felt like I had no choice because again, my ex was the type of person that he lives in that space of I don't know. And I know you know what I'm saying because there are times when we definitely don't know what to do, but I'm the type of person that lives in solution, find a solution or figure it out, right? Find a solution or figure it out. And Maria Folio did wrote a book that says everything is figure outable. And she gained that knowledge from her mom because her mom used to do all the things, fix all the things. And that's the kind of woman I have been. But, by the time, in my relationship, with my ex, and I mean, let me tell you something. My ex is one of the best person I know. He's one of the best human being I know. And I would always say that. But when it comes to his emotional intelligence, well, he was not really good being, when it comes to, you know, um, being emotional. He didn't know how to do that. He was just not an emotional person. So for me, that was something that I needed in my life. But back then, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that, when it comes to that depth, that is the thing that I was missing the most from my relationship. So by the time we got separated, um, I basically, I came to him. I felt like I knew almost 2 years before I got divorced that that is something that is a possibility would happen. And so I used to go, by that time, I got really spiritual. I went to an ashram. And of course, when it comes to the health and wellness part, a whole part of that has been at that ashram because, I had my own trauma. I had my own drama. I had my own, I had to heal my life being in this, not just being in the relationship, but becoming spiritual meant that I got to know myself a lot better. And so while I was growing, my ex really wasn't growing the same way I was growing. So it become in a sense where, because we live so much on the surface of our life, we have, there be, lots of resentment happened. Honestly, that's what happens when you don't speak up and share what you have to share and say what you have to say. Resentment enter the picture. And so I'm sure that he too was harboring his own resentment, the same way I was harboring mine. And so we couldn't have conversation about anything deeper than what we are eating or, where we are going, which is always something that he didn't know. Just imagine spending your life with a person that don't know. It was not the easiest thing to do, especially when most of what it is that there is solution in there. And I think what happened, because I was always, the person that get things done, and I always felt like I got to do it, I take possession and continue doing it. Oh my, you got to see this, right? My walk is, look at the Ferris wheel here. Yeah, Niagara and all the hotels, the Sheraton, and I'm just going to continue walking up the street so you guys are going to have a nice view of where I'm at. So mainly this video is on being outside and basically understanding that in life you can figure things out. In life there is always a solution. And yes, the world is chaotic right now. There's a lot of things that we don't know. So don't come for me when I say that, we have to know certain things. I'm just talking in general about the things that is like, what do you want to eat? I understand that, yes, there are days when you wouldn't know what you want to eat. But when it's a daily thing and it's all you hear, it's just become a frustration. So I remember the day that I came to my ex and I said, I think that we need actually to see a psychotherapist. We need therapy or we need coaching, or something on those lines so that we can live a better life. And you know what he said? He said, I don't know. And so for me, I turned around and I said, well, I know. I know that I'm leaving this relationship because I no longer can stay in a relationship with a person that do not know what they want to do. They don't know if they want to stay in the relationship, but he doesn't know. He also don't want to go to see a therapist. And so when I asked him, do you want to stay in this relationship? He said he didn't know. So I said, I know, I'm leaving. And so hence I end up leaving this relationship because of that, him saying that he doesn't know. And so today, as I was listening and watching this couple, um, on this podcast, and this man is going on and on about all the things that he doesn't know, which is technically like I was like, oh my God, I lost my shit a little bit because I couldn't believe that he has no idea um, how to take care of their money. And I understand that. We all have that kind of but it was just so much that I was like, oh my God, like, could we stop saying I don't know all the time? There is so much to know, you know? So, anyways, I wanted to leave this with you guys. I wanted to come and have a chat and just talk a little bit about, figure it out, find a solution. There is solutions and there is ways we can figure out things, and we don't have to spend all this time not knowing. I'm going to just show you guys a little bit of this street before I get off. And this is, yeah, the Ferris wheel is closer, and the Sheridan, and there's a casino, and all these beautiful things on this street. And the best thing about this street right now is that there is nobody. There is, a few days ago I came down here and there was so many people. Oh, it was just so crowded. But now it's later and there is no one down here. Anyways, I'm going to leave you guys with this for today, because this is all I got. Um, and so I'm going to leave you guys with this. Find a solution. Um, Remember, talk to somebody, ask a question, figure it out. It's all figure out a bill. And so this is my video for today. I have to say goodbye. Um, oh, right. Subscribe to my channel and like my channel, and also like my videos. Share it if you have to share it with anybody. You can go back and look at all my other videos, because right now I'm outside and I'm figuring it out, okay? I am figuring it out, and I found a solution because I lost all my two other videos for today. So this is where I'm at. So do less and be more of who you are. Have a good one.